Attendance was 17,000. We did a $4 million gate. We did 2,200 people at Radio City Music Hall. The bonuses were Fight of the Night are Hammond and Wallace. Knockout of the Night is Shane Carwin. Submission of the Night is Pellegrino. And those were $65,000 each. So congratulations, you guys. Good job. Who's first? Raise your hand and they'll bring you a microphone. Cal?
Shane, congratulations to you. I'm over to your right. Congratulations on the win. I was wondering, what was the plan when you kind of got up against the cage there? I mean, were you going to try to take Frank down, or were you content just to kind of grapple with him in the clinch?
The plan was, you know, to get Frank against the fence and dirty box. You know, I'm kind of mean and aggressive there, and we worked on that all camp, just getting him against the fence and beating him up and trying to take him into later rounds.
And were you thinking, it looked like early on you shot on him there and tried to take him down, was part of it, you know, to get him on his back and, you know, kind of get in top position?
No, that was just to drive him against the fence.
Oh.
Shane, how hungry back, straight back, Shane? How much are you now looking forward to this shot that you've wanted as late as last year?
It's been a long time coming, and I speak to it as like destiny. Brock and I were both national champions around the same time in wrestling, and we never got to meet in wrestling. And you know, here we are, 10 years later, and we finally get to meet. And it's on a much bigger stage, the best stage in the world. And you know, I'm excited for it, and I'm elated tonight. And you know, I just don't. It's hard to have words after and feelings after a fight like that.
Quickly, I guess, Dana and Shane, for the record, Dana, you said before this fight, the heavyweight fight, that if the winner was not too badly injured, then you would then go on and face Brock right away. I take it, Shane, it was okay to us that we're going to go ahead and see that fight soon.
Yeah, I mean, he could answer that question better than me. You feeling good?
I'm feeling, hell yeah, I'm feeling good. Not just good, I'm feeling great.
And Shane, looked like the crowd was slightly behind Frank tonight, but it was pretty clear in the stare down that between you and Brock, they were behind you. What do you think? Would that make any changes for you?
You know, that's not going to make any changes for me. You know, obviously the fans are behind Frank. He's a legend of the sport, and it was an honor to fight him tonight. And I told him that after it, and you know, it's going to be an honor to fight Brock. He's the champion right now, and I look forward to my opportunity.
Dana, do you have a tentative date for the Lesnar-Carwin fight?
Did what?
Do you have a tentative date already set for the fight?
Yeah, we're talking early July.
Fight, you know, Brock can talk up a fight and really get under an opponent's skin. Obviously, he's already started, you know, with you. Made some comments. I want to talk about how you plan to deal with the verbal back and forth or verbal attacks that Brock is sure to throw your way.
You know, I find the comments that Brock and Frank and those guys like that, I actually find them pretty comical, and I laugh at them. I enjoy them as much as everybody else enjoys them. You know, when I was on the college football field playing football, and you know, there were a lot worse things said on that football field than you know, what you can say in the public's eye here.
Shane, follow up to one of Brock's comments. He called it a fake bell. And, you know, I understand it was a legitimate win, but the fact is the champion is active and he was here. So, I mean, do you feel it's tarnished at all by the fact that the champion is active fighter and is planning to fight soon? I mean, do you feel like you've won a championship tonight?
You know, I've said this from the start. This was made an intern championship before we knew the health of Brock and before he came back. And it was probably a couple weeks later that he announced that he was going to be able to come back. So, you know, I was excited that he was back, and the champ's back, and he's the champ, and he's rightly so there.
Shane, I got one more for you. You know, coming into this fight, there were questions about the quality of your opponents. Do you think this win puts those kind of statements to rest? And I also want you to address if you know, when you fight Brock, if the fight goes into the later rounds, the latter rounds, how you plan to deal with that, or will that be an issue?
You know, honestly, prior opponents trying to get to the UFC, yeah, they're not probably UFC caliber. A few of them are out there, but once you get to the UFC, you're fighting the top guys in the world. And, you know, every fight that I get in the UFC, then it keeps adding, you know, to my record and who I am as a person and a fighter. And, you know, all I can do is just push forward for every one of those fights. And what was the second part of that question? Oh, it's going into deeper rounds with Brock. You know, that was the plan today with Frank, was to actually go into deeper rounds, so all you guys would quit asking me those questions.
You went as long as you ever have.
Yeah, right? And I was feeling good, too.
Just wondering if you could go through your feelings before the fight started. Obviously, this isn't your first rodeo, but it was kind of a long layoff for you. What did you feel like when you, any special nerves, being a title on the line, Brock's here, a lot of stuff going down?
Yeah, you know, I was definitely a little bit more nervous this time than I tend to be, and could be, you know, the year off that I've had, or haven't been in the octagon. You know, the other part is that my wife had to stay home with our new daughter, and she's usually here with me all week and makes me laugh and keeps me pretty calm. You know, I felt confident in our game plan and what we worked on. And you know, when I go in there, like I said, I go in there to destroy guys. I don't go in there to try to eke out decisions.
With Frank, it almost seemed like he was pacing himself for a longer fight. Maybe he didn't have a sense of urgency. Did you feel that when you were locked up with him?
Actually, the kind of the game plan for me was to be a little bit more relaxed and not rush things like I've tended to do in the past, and I felt more fluid in there. You know, I think Frank was actually probably waiting for me to bull rush him like I've kind of done with my, you know, prior opponents. So, you know, I don't know if he was looking forward to the longer rounds that way or not. You know, we'll just stick to the game plan.
Did you feel like he was as aggressive or right there with you as he needed to be?
You know, I felt really strong against him.